Okay, so happy Tuesday, everybody. It's kind of strange for Christina and I to be on when it's not Wednesday over here on Blab, but we're super excited because this is our first member spotlight live. So for those of you that don't know, One Woman Shop is a resource hub and membership community for female solo business owners, and we host a series over on the blog called our Member Spotlight, where we give a series of questions to our members, and they clearly write their answers and we post them. But this time we're taking it live on Blab, and Jill has luckily submitted herself to be our first Member Spotlight participant. And looks like we're just losing Christina. But Jill, we're still recording. So Jill, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and your business and tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, hi, I'm Jill Dretzka. I own Spark and Influence. It's a web design and social media marketing company. I work with all different types of companies, from contractors to, like personal trainers, event planners. I work with people all over the world. And yeah, I've been doing it part-time for 5.5 years, full-time for 3.5 years. So it's been quite a journey.
Absolutely. And where are you located, Jill?
I live in Chicago 2 weeks next week, or 2 years next week.
Awesome. Okay, welcome back, Christina.
Can you guys see and hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, so Jill, tell us a little bit more about how you got started doing what you're doing.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Someone told me when I was really little that they always thought I'm going to end up working for myself. But I went to school for hospitality management, and when I graduated, there wasn't really a lot going on. It was in the middle of the bad economy, and so I was working at my dad's office in between, and he had a really terrible website. Like, I don't even think it had his phone number on it. It was awful. And I told him, I was like, Dad, it's 2011. People have good websites. You should probably do this. And he was like, no, I don't think so. So being his independent, stubborn daughter, I just called a web designer and was like, I think he needs a new website.
I love that.
So she taught me how to build websites on WordPress. And on the same, side, I was like, oh, Dad, I think you should be on Facebook. And he was like, I don't really want to. And I was like, okay, I'll make a Facebook page for you. It's fine.
So not only did the web designer build the website, she taught you how to do it at the same time?
Yeah, and actually, she's a really good friend of mine. Her name's Tanya, and she is like an advanced web designer, so she knows 10 times more than I do. And I still work with her 5 years later. I still pass off all my complicated stuff, and we collaborate and work together. So she's an awesome person.
Yeah. Very cool. So bring us to today and your current work specifically with contractors, but I know you also just opened a new venture. If you want to share a little bit about that. Jill likes to be busy.
I know. I'm always like, I have so much to do. Okay, I'll do something else. Sure. So right now I work with a lot of HVAC contractors. That's because my dad, he introduced me to a big group of people. I've been doing a lot of websites. I just recently did a BigCommerce website and a Shopify website. And in the meantime, I'm transitioning a little bit, and I'm turning my business a little bit more inward. So I'm in the middle of creating a course for contractors, because a lot of them are really small. They can't really afford to bring on a team or even someone who would charge, hundreds or, thousands of dollars a month to handle their marketing. So this is kind of like a course that teaches them how to post, what to post, when to post. And then Julian, who's a member of One Woman Shop, she and I have our own Slack channel. Slack is my new obsession, and I was like the last person to the party.
I may have been the last person.
Yeah, and so we started chatting, and she had wanted a branding kit for her business, and she had some trouble. She wasn't really getting exactly what she wanted. So as we were talking, we thought, well, maybe if we just created our own, we could create branding kits for people. And so we started that last Friday, and we already have a couple of orders, and it's nice. It gives us a chance to be super creative, and it's been really nice.
That's awesome. Because I imagine, sorry, I'm here. I'm popping in. I can finally see people. So I imagine that with HVAC, which in case anyone doesn't know, do you want to explain what that is real quick?
Yeah, it's super exciting. It's heating, ventilation, air conditioning. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
But I assume that's not as creative. So having the branding kits is a way to have a creative outlet, I assume.
Yeah. And I love my clients. They're all amazing business owners, but it is really technical information that you're trying to make it mass appeal, and whereas this side is a little bit more, I'm like been doing graphic design for a couple of years. So I've been teaching myself, and this is just like a great way. We put together color palettes and we find fonts we like, and it's a little bit girlier and it's a little bit more creative, and it gives us a chance to work together. And it's been really nice.
Awesome. Yeah, Julian's here cheering you on, clearly. She's over in the comments saying it is so much fun.
That is awesome. And so we told you when we sent you these notes for this blog that we were going to get off track. So we definitely are going to, but that's just par for the course. We actually are talking tomorrow on our blab about partnerships and what we've learned from our partnership. But I'm wondering if you can give kind of a quick overview of how you and Julian officially decided to work together, and then any quick little lessons, and then we can actually talk about the questions we already asked you.
Yeah, I think it comes down to working with someone that you really trust. We don't necessarily we don't work the same. And by work the same, I mean she's extraordinarily organized and I am organized like in my mind and she's organized on paper. But I think we both, our main goal was the same. We wanted to provide really good customer service. We wanted to give clients exactly what they were looking for. And I think since we've both been in the position of the purchaser, it gives us a unique ability to do the back end and do it well. I think the most important thing is even though we talk every single day, all day, and we video chat all day, we still have a partnership agreement, basically saying like, if she wants to jump ship or if I want to jump ship, this is how it'll all go down. Because I think everyone has the best intentions, but it's smart and important to have something on paper. That's probably my best piece of advice. And she's the one who put all that together.
Good job, Julian. We applaud you. I love that you said that because we, right now, we are in April, which is collaborations and partnerships. So this is very fitting that you guys just launched this.
Yes, and we will have a post coming up that expounds upon why even casual partnerships need a contract. So it is super important amongst friends, family members, people that don't know each other, everybody.
Yeah. It's strangers to meet on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So we'll probably keep veering off, but let's hop into some of the questions that we sent over beforehand. So being somebody that helps people with social media, what is your favorite social media platform and why?
I recently got into Snapchat from both a personal and a business standpoint. I'm not on it as a business, but I shop with this boutique in Texas, and they have been using it as a communication tool with their audience. They show the clothes, they talk about how it fits, and from a business standpoint, I think it's just helped them build so much trust and credibility with their audience. And I thought about it, I just think it's such a cool business tool. Personally, I don't know why people care about what I'm doing, but I still like it, and I still post stuff on, I don't know. But and then Instagram, I have a personal account, I think, for 4 years. And in 2016, I decided, I think I really should jump into Instagram as a business. I sell services, so I was hesitant as to why, how to connect with my audience, how to monetize my Instagram. I didn't really know. But now that I'm kind of feeling my way through it, the audience I think it's not even that you have to sell necessarily. It's just to build. I started a conversation yesterday asking other business people, what do you do when you go on vacation? How do you handle it? And it really opened up this great dialogue. And I think eventually the monetizing or the selling of it will come. They just need to know who I am and what I stand for. So that's been really good.
I love that you basically allude to the social aspect of social media, because I was just complaining. I know we talked about this in the Facebook group, and then I was talking to my roommate. I was like, it's not social anymore in a lot of ways, but I love when people take it back and use it how it was meant to be.
Yeah, I think it's just a lost opportunity to sell, because if you think about who you are and what you respond to, you probably don't respond really well to someone selling at you. So why, as a business person, would that be your first thing you do to your audience?
Yeah. No, and I love that you are just like me and just getting into Snapchat, because often I open that app and I just feel like a dinosaur. But I got schooled on it when I was with a friend traveling last week, and there is a ton of potential there for businesses, and especially with the story aspect of it, because it really makes you consider how to piece together a story and make it interesting and what you can share. So it'll be interesting to see how businesses take to that even more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to toss another question that you are already a little bit prepared for. But if you had one piece of advice for a new solo business owner, what would it be?
Oh, I preach this like on an annoyingly constant basis. But, I say find a tribe. Honest to God, more a community, a person. I don't care, because like I'm an only child. I'm super close to my family, but I can't tell you how many times in the last year my parents have been like, "Listen, we're listening to you. We can't offer you any feedback, and we can't offer you any advice because we're so far out." It's not an age thing. It's just necessarily like my mom works for a valve company out in California and my dad's a contractor. To me, they can't really help me with my blogging and my, social sharing on Instagram. It's just, so I think it helps to have people, and this one woman shop is like the community I go to for everything when I have questions and stuff. And then on top of that, Julian and I, she's a virtual assistant. I do social media and website. We do have some overlap, but in general, our work is different, but it's a good place to get ideas. It's a good place to balance ideas or bounce ideas off each other. And really, you have to have that. Your friends are going to love you and your family is going to love you, but God bless them, save them their sanity and find someone else in business that can help you.
Yeah, I love that, especially because we do, at least I know, I put a lot of pressure on my family to understand what I do, and I expect them to have appropriate responses when I bring certain things their way. And now it's just gotten to the point where I know that they are just there to listen, but I have other people in groups and business partners and coaches that I can go to when I need really succinct feedback.
Yeah. I mean, you can have business coaches, accountability partners, all these things that are so helpful, and they can all help you with different aspects, or they can all help you with the same problem.
Yeah. Well, and I was going to say the other benefit of being able to have the people who don't understand business is that if you can explain something to them, you know that you can explain it to the layman. So using your friends and family in that way can be helpful. Be like, do you guys get this? Am I explaining this well?
It's totally true, because I will do that. If I think I'm too close to something and I'm explaining it in a way that totally makes sense to me, I will ask my mom, like, listen, you don't know anything about this person. You don't know anything about this product, but like, does it make sense? And she's like, yeah, just explain it like that. I'm like, okay, it's actually really good feedback.
Yeah, I need that ignorance to help me.
Probably don't sure shit like that.
I know.
Maybe not.
I'm sure she would love me to say that to her.
Yes. I think I've heard you refer to your parents as your business advisors. So that's great.
And very important, we've gotten the mom reference that we have to have on every single blab. So great job. Thank you.
Yeah, always. So speaking of that, back when we did the Solopreneur Success Bundle in September, you wrote a post for the Road to Solopreneur Success blog tour that really showed a little bit of your personality and how your mom always said that you were so much better in just day-to-day operating when you had a lot on your plate. So that doesn't seem to have changed, but how would you say that running a business has changed you?
That's a great point. I've always been the poster child for like, please God, give her something to do. Like, don't leave your children with nothing to do. But it's made me tougher, honest to God. I think my friends who go to work, they have a job and they love it. But sometimes they get roped into doing the same thing. And I think this doesn't really speak about being tougher, but I said in my answer that it makes me more well-rounded, because I'm learning how to do my own accounting. I'm learning how to do my own taxes, which may be a little late in life, but I'm still learning. But I'm learning how to be my own business development department. Like, I'm learning how to do all these things. And I think it's something that can be missed in a job where you are given a specific task to do over and over again. That's not to say every job is like that, but there are some that are. And being tougher, for me, it's, I put out my information to people constantly, all day, every day. And sometimes I get on calls and people are like, oh, you're not really what I'm looking for. And if you do have a job, that's like going to a job interview, but sometimes you have one a year. I may have one of these phone calls a week where like someone says, oh, you're perfect, let's work together. And I have someone else who's like, not really what I'm looking for. And you really have to strap on the thick skin, because sometimes, it's tough to hear. Like someone asked me, how many clients do you have? And I said 12. And they said, well, we don't want to work with someone who has 12 clients. And I thought, well, I think that means 12 people really like me. But like to them, it was not desirable. And that makes having to hear no makes you tough, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. We've experienced that a lot with our guest posts is, we get rejected back to back to back. And you're like, okay, well, going to keep trying next week.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you're a bad writer. It just means that they may have what they need already in that topic or whatever the case may be. But it's like, you do learn to realize it's not always personal, and it feels really personal because you're working alone. So what else is it? You are your business. So it feels like they're rejecting you.
Yeah. And I know, so being a service-based business, you are subjected to a lot of feedback that you're not necessarily soliciting, or just situations that really put you through the paces. So I know that we've commiserated over certain really bad clients and things of that nature. So that definitely helps you develop that tough skin.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
So I'm curious, in terms of the client, so for other service-based businesses out there, what would you recommend in terms of basically combating terrible clients and just kind of getting a roster of clients that you love?
I think so much of it comes down to like the pre-preparation. Like I think in One Woman Shop, we've talked it to death, but like you get into a situation where you prepare a contract, you prepare a scope of work, and then you get into a situation where someone is demanding all these things that you never even thought you were going to run into. And so what you do is you suck it up and you put it in your scope and you put it in your contract and you go on to the next one. But every time you're constantly adjusting. And I think that the more prepared you are up front to know what you can do, what you can't do, how many revisions. Revisions were something I didn't even realize were a thing for a while. So I was letting people do 1,000 revisions. It's mentally exhausting. And so now I've cut it back to X amount of revisions, whatever. But that's all stuff that you can prepare ahead of time, and you can ask the right questions when you're talking to clients. Mm-hmm. No offense to the clients in this world, but you'll know in the middle of a conversation, like, this isn't a really good fit for me. But if you have to know what to ask.
Yeah, and you just have to not be afraid to admit when a client's not right for you or you aren't right for the client, because you're putting yourself both into a sticky situation.
Yeah, and I've had, go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, I've had clients tell me, if I've said to them like, hey, I don't really think this is a good fit, I've had clients say like, thank you. I'd much rather be in a position where you tell me like we're not a good fit than we get in halfway and realize, oh my God, what are we doing? This is a mess. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I think that's a really good lesson. And I think, and you basically said that you're taking and learning each time. So we've talked about this before, is the people who we really want to work with are the people who learn from each time and take that advice and use it the next time. You don't learn a lesson from a bad client and then just forget about it. You put it in your contract and kind of are growing your knowledge each step of the way.
It takes 3 tries sometimes. All right. So I was going to ask you a question that takes us off topic, but I think you might touch upon it. So first we'll ask you, if you could do just one piece of your business forever, every day, what would it be?
Oh my God. I know. In my pre-existing answers I sent you, I said invoicing.
Yes.
True story. Let's talk about it. But
is that the creation of invoices or just getting the money?
I know, right? Super
processing payments.
Right. I'm sure people would love to hear me say that. No, I think it honestly is the creating. I love, whether it's a design or a website or just thinking about the types of content, that's where I shine. I think I shine. Maybe it's just myself, but I like just hearing what people have to say and formulating what I'm going to do. That's the part. And then I really have come into my own, I think, with the graphic design. I think it's like for people that love to write, it's my version of relaxing, or it's my version of really what puts me in a good mood as far as my work is concerned.
Yeah, and so one thing that I definitely admire you for is that even though you are the type of person that likes to fill up your plate, you're also not afraid to ask for help. And I know you went through a process, I think it was already last summer, which seems so long ago now, of hiring an intern and actually outsourcing work. So do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, in college, I was the kind of person that would never have asked anyone for help. If I was drowning, I would have just drowned, and that would have been it.
Help it.
But what I went on to find was there are people in this world who I was just afraid that no one was going to care about my business as much as me. And I think that that's a really real fear for people that work alone. Mm-hmm. I think over time, at least some of us, like you start to realize like no one's going to care as much about it as me, or maybe no one does as good a job as me. But what I found were there are people who had so much passion, the same level of passion for my business. And I was really amazed. I had an amazing intern. He's been gone for over almost a year now, which just depresses me. But his name's Kenneth, and he was a really amazing intern, and we just had a blast together, and he helped me out so much. Now I have Tanya, who helps me with my web stuff, and I've slowly started to find people. But that's a lot. I mean, I'm 28, so that, I'd say probably the last decade I've been really weird about asking for help, and it's really, you have to embrace it. I mean, you can't do everything alone, and I think you're setting yourself up for failure if you think that you can do it all.
Yeah. Absolutely. We preach that all the time. Yeah. And I love whenever I pop in the face group and I see, we call our Facebook group the face group because we're cool like that.
Clearly there's no time to say Facebook group.
Yeah. Who has time for that? We're solopreneurs. But I always, it's always like, Jill asked a comment or asked a question about some aspect of business. And we love seeing you use the resources that are around you. We're all about being resourceful.
Oh yeah. I love it.
Excellent. All right. So we're getting even more off script, and we are going to throw some rapid fire questions at you that you're not prepared for about you and your business. Excellent. Sarah, you want to start?
These are more fun than stressful. Okay. So tell us your all-time favorite TV show.
Friends.
Yes.
I knew that was coming.
Score. That's amazing. Awesome. Tell us your favorite way to unwind after a long day of working.
Dance.
Ooh, tell us more. We always ask follow-up questions to the rapid fire. We suck at rapid fire.
When I had a car in California, if I was ever having a bad day, like I would sit in my car with my windows down and I would just like blast music. And now that I'm carless, I just turn on my speakers in my house and I dance it out. It came from Grey's Anatomy. Meredith used to dance it out. And I was like, I'm going to try that in my apartment. And yeah, it's so helpful. I do it more often than not.
When you had a car, did you drive or did you just get in the car and put the windows down and park and car dance?
Important questions.
I honestly did both. Yes. Sometimes I would just like be in a parking lot, or like I'd be driving somewhere and I just like have all the windows down and music loud, and either me or sometimes I'd have friends with me. So
okay, so I have to ask, do you have like a go-to song you put on in that situation?
Oh, that's a good one. For a while it was Whitney Houston's "I Want to Dance with Somebody."
I love
that. I'm trying to think. I love Fantasy by Mariah Carey was one for a while.
That was stuck in my head yesterday. So random. I love that.
I would say like towards the end of last year, it was all Fantasy by Mariah Carey, like all the time.
Guys, I don't even know this song. I have to look it up now.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah. Sorry.
Total classic.
Stuck in my head.
That's amazing.
From either.
We have a dance playlist we have a Spotify account for One Woman Shop, and we do a bunch of different playlists, and one of them is Midday Dance Party. And I actually, for Christmas, I got a sign designed for Sarah for her home office, and it says, "Shut up and dance." And I was like, this is just a good reminder if you're ever stressed, like dancing doesn't solve everything, but it solves a lot.
It does. It can be really helpful.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. That was a good one. So tell us your favorite daytime drink.
My favorite daytime drink? Coffee.
How?
Do you have a favorite?
What?
I saw you were holding a Starbucks cup.
Oh, yeah. This is a Grande 2-pump non-fat no-whip mocha.
Oh, fancy.
It's not even, I swear it doesn't sound that fancy, but I get teased a lot for it.
Because if you say a certain amount of words, it just sounds fancy. It doesn't even matter what the words you're saying are.
Totally. Okay, so speaking of drinking, tell us your favorite nighttime beverage.
Margarita.
Ooh, lovely. Go for a margarita on a beach right now.
Right? I'm going to Mexico in like 3.5 weeks. I'm so excited.
Where are you going to Mexico?
I'm going to Cabo, San Lucas.
Excellent. We'll meet you there.
Yeah, I know, right?
We weren't invited, but we're coming.
I love it. We'll just make it a group vacation.
Okay, so let's bring it slightly back to work. What is your favorite blog or website that isn't talked about a ton, but that you love?
Ooh.
Is
Is it business related or non?
Doesn't have to be.
I really love Thought Catalog. I read it like once a week, and I go through like 50 pages, and I save all the tabs that I want to read before I go to bed. The most recent one, I think I still have the tab open. It is 33 illuminating and details I learned reading O.J. Simpson's I Did It book.
Very interesting. Yeah, you can read a lot of interesting stuff on Thought Catalog.
I've been finding myself a little obsessed with the whole O.J. Simpson trial because I was too little to remember it as it was happening. So I've been like,
it's like the new cereal.
Really, yeah, it really is.
Okay, but do you have actually? I guess we're supposed to be serious on these now. But do you have a business resource that you love besides One Woman Shop?
I really do use One Woman Shop a lot. I'm not loyal to any particular website. I'm sure people hate that answer, but I usually search through Twitter, and that's what kind of, if I see something that sparks my interest, I will read it. That's a terrible answer. I've gotten into the app Medium recently, like the business articles that people write on Medium. So yeah, that's about as close as I get to being loyal to a website.
Cool.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So it'll be interesting coming from you because you work with social media. What's the social media platform that you could care less about?
Oh, Google Plus. I don't even think it should be considered a social network.
They try so hard. I kept getting these little pop-ups from them, and I was like, "Oh, Google, that's so cute. You guys are still trying."
Yeah. So what I do is I understand the importance because it's synced to Google. So what I do is all of my clients, I have automation between, I think it's Twitter and Google Plus. So when something goes up on Twitter, it automatically posts their Google Plus page. And all of my clients have like updated address information, but that's the extent. And I've told my clients, like, I'm happy to automate this, but I'm not putting together a strategy for you because it hasn't proven itself to provide enough value like a Facebook or a LinkedIn or a Twitter would. So
yeah, that definitely makes sense. So you know that we are obsessed with Solopreneur Sanity. So I'm curious, your go-to Solopreneur Sanity strategy that helps you, besides dance, that helps you kind of de-stress.
Honestly, probably talking about it with other people is just because I feel like Julian's going to be like, but we complain so much. But I mean, honestly, like if I keep it in my head and I review it over and over again, it's going to drive me insane because I don't have any outside perspective telling me like, hey, you need to chill out. So for me, it really does help to talk about it. Julian's live chat says we have a channel in our Slack team called Complaining. It's true.
Wait, I think you can say the full name, which is #complaining.
Yeah, we have hashtags in front of all of our Slack channels.
Hashtag winner.
But I mean, honestly, I think that hearing somebody else either tell me like, no, the situation's weird, or here's a solution I would offer, honestly makes me it just makes me less stressed out. And I'm always been if you've met me, you know I'm chatty. So to me, talking through it is really a de-stressor.
Yeah, and sometimes even you don't even have to be looking for an answer. You can just talk about it. And I found that the minute I start talking about it, I've answered my own question, or I just needed to get it out.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's interesting when you have posted sometimes in the Facebook group and you're like, reality check, is this weird? And everyone's like, yeah, that's weird. And you're like, all right, problem solved. It's definitely a justification that this is weird.
It's totally true, because sometimes Julian and I talk about it a lot. Sometimes you're too close to the situation. So someone will say something to you. And I also believe tone gets lost in translation when you're emailing a client or texting a client or whatever the case may be. Yeah. So I think that when you're too close to it and you're concerned about tone, I think really like asking people like, hey, have you been in this situation? Am I overreacting? Because if you tell me I'm overreacting, fine, then I'll take a step back. But I won't know unless I have someone else telling me like, hey, I think you need to chill out, or it's okay. I would be a little weirded out if I was in your situation, or I'd be confused, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, we could go pretty much on all day about that, I think. Okay, so what is the best thing you've ever heard about your business from a client, from a coworker, from anybody?
You know, it's interesting. I got a compliment last week from a client. We posted, Facebook has these little business story videos. They're like 15 seconds, and I made them for all my clients. And they just had, people just responded like so beautifully, like sharing it, saying, you know, oh, this company is great. It made my heart like so happy, because it happened for literally every single client I created a video for. And one of the owner's brothers who I work with emailed me, and he was like, I really love how good you take care of us. And that was a really cool thing to hear, because I don't talk to him very often. I don't really know how he feels about the business, but just the fact that I took the initiative to make these 15-second videos, you know, he just was really excited and happy, and he felt happy enough in that moment to tell me, and that was really special.
Yeah, no, that's awesome when they recognize the level of caring that you're giving too, which is just so gratifying.
Yeah, and the owner and I are in communication every week, and he's been very open about saying like, hey, thank you so much for doing this, and he's such a sweet guy. But it was nice to see someone else from his team realizing that I'm taking as good a care of his business as if it was my own, because that's what I try to do for them.
Definitely.
I love that. So many quotables in here. Excellent. So we asked you before, but we wanted to give you a chance to give us a totally shameless plug for anything that you're working on right now in your solo business.
Well, I wrote about my my social media course, but I think I'm going to talk about the Etsy shop because it's open and the things are purchasable. So it's Jill and Julian on Etsy, and we have 6 branding kits that you can buy. And then we also are offering within customization for those. So you can come to us, and if you want something specific, we can design with you on that. It's really exciting because I guess we didn't realize until recently how popular it was and how much we have people looking for them. And I think that because we've both wanted to purchase them at one point, we really do. We know what our clients are looking for, and we're happy to work with them. And Julian's taking care of like the customer service side, and I'm doing the design side. But there's a lot to look through, and I think people really like it. They're all named after strong female TV characters.
I
my
love
obsession
that.
with TV is real.
I didn't see a Liz Lemon one though. Is there one?
Oh, Sarah Smith is the only one that doesn't fit, and I don't know why I went rogue on the name, but it's like Olivia Pope, Pam Beasley, Monica Geller. You know,
I love it.
Probably get Rachel Green in there at one point.
And tell us real quick what's included in a branding kit.
Okay, so for ours, we have the logo, an alternative logo, a watermark, and a color palette.
Nice.
And there is potentially later on down the road, we briefly mentioned it this morning, that we might be selling like customized social media icons to go with it. That may be something, if we hear from people that they want, we may start including those too.
Awesome.
I'm sure Julian's like, what the heck, she went rogue, but on the answer.
I'm glad that, Sarah just dropped that link in there so people can click right over there and look at all these. I'm obviously most interested in the Monica Geller.
And I'm just waiting for Liz Lemon. So.
I know, I saw that in the chat. We definitely, Liz Lemon's on there. I think Leslie Knope is on there because she's my all-time favorite. Yeah, so we'll have more coming at you. There's a Mindy Lahiri, I'm sure, in there coming soon.
Love it.
Yes, no. Okay, so we like to end these all the same way. That sounds funny because I said this is the first one we've done. But all of our live chats, we like to end the same way. And that's by asking you what your absolute favorite part about being a one-woman shop is.
I love being able to make my own schedule. I probably should have a more heartfelt answer than that.
Give us yours.
I love being able to help businesses in such a customized fashion, honestly, because I don't like to be like held to be like being put in a box, or I don't know the right way to say that. So if a business, like I talk to a business and I ask them all of their needs, what do you need? And then I find a way to be that person, all those different things to that business. And I stick with you. I'm your storyteller. I'm your marketing person. I'm your whatever you want to be. I'm that person for you. And I just try to, like I said earlier, I try to treat their business like my own. And that's a really special relationship, and something that I think sometimes you can only get if you're your own boss or you're the one making the choices. So,
and the flexible schedule doesn't hurt.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's kind of remarkable. Like, I just booked a trip to Ireland in July, and that's something that I don't know that I could do if I was working for someone else, because I'm also going to Mexico, and I may or may not be going to St. Thomas at the end of the year.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, so
I'm a lucky girl.
Where can people find you online?
Okay, so on Facebook, I'm Spark and Influence. On Instagram, I'm Spark Influence, no and on Twitter, I think I'm Spark_influence. I really should get a handle on the consistency, but for whatever.
And your website is sparkandinfluence.com, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for being our guinea pig for our Member Spotlights Live.
I love it.
Time to chat with us today.
We need some closing
music. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I know, right? Little Whitney Houston.
Yeah, right.
No, we gotta teach Christina Mariah Carey fantasy first.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Total classic.
I'll work on it. Thanks, Jill. Talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All right,
Bye.
Bye.